Nobody knows how long the crisis will be, but I think it's very important to underline that it will not be short, because even if there was a peace tomorrow, there would still be consequences, because energy infrastructure in the region has been ruined by the war and continuously is being ruined by the war. So obviously we all hope for a peace as soon as possible, but what I find extremely important is to state as clearly as I can that even if that peace is here tomorrow, still we will not go back to normal in a foreseeable future. Since the beginning of the conflict in the Middle East, prices in the EU have risen by around 70% for gas and by 60% for oil. In financial terms, 30 days of conflict have already added 14 billion euros to the Union's fossil fuels import bill. 14 billion euros. These numbers paint a very clear picture. As the crisis in the Middle East enters its second month, it is clear that we are facing a very serious situation. While there are no immediate oil and gas supply shortages in the European Union, we see tightening in certain product markets, notably diesel and jet fuel, as well as increasing constraints in global gas markets and its spillover effect into electricity prices.
Something a lot more sinister is happening right now, and it has nothing to do with the oil, right? Everybody's talking about the oil. CNN isn't talking about the real thing. Fox News isn't talking about the real thing. MSNBC, all of these bullcrap news networks, they're not talking about the real catastrophe we could be facing worldwide right now. They're not talking about the real thing. And I want you to put the oil aside right now, because the oil is very important and will disrupt the global market. But this is the real thing that is going to disrupt how you eat. It's going to disrupt what you're able to buy in the supermarkets. And if you stay somewhere else in the world, listen, starvation is amongst us. People are about to get priced out of survival. I want y'all to understand. People are about to get priced out of survival, right? You're no longer going to be able, even if you do have a little bit of money, you may not even be able to buy the things that you need to upkeep your body. And what am I talking about? You said, what are you talking about, Tap? You're going on and on. What are you talking about? Not only is 20 to 30% of the oil going through the Strait of Hormuz, you also have 30 to 40%, some say, of ammonia and urea going through the Strait of Hormuz as well. And you're like, okay, ammonia, urea, what are you talking about? Listen, guys, ammonia and urea is used globally for what? Fertilizer, right? And you want to guess what fertilizer is used for? I'm sure you don't have to guess. It is used to grow crops. It is used to grow your fruits, your vegetables, right? It is used to grow grass, right? So animals can free roam. The cows can free roam, right? It is used to give the animals food, right? It is used for many different things, but it is connected directly to our food supply. And do I have to go on and on about why this is extremely important? No, I think you're catching the gist of this. They're using the oil to distract you from the real problem.
I built a life. I built a family. I worked my hands raw to get here, and I'm not done. This is the escape blueprint, PFP life, a way out of the grind and into control. You'll learn how I stack cash, build systems, and reclaim time so you can live on your own terms. You will watch me maneuver and grind towards the life that I achieve for myself, and you can also do the same. Join the circle, join the Patreon, learn the steps, and protect your freedom. The Escape Blueprint, PFP Life.
They're saying, oh, the oil, we're not going to be able to do this. We're not going to be able to do that. And quite frankly, many airlines, many companies, they have backup. They have backup. They can buy from different markets, right? That's all they have to do. This is not one of those instances, right? And just to go over a few notes, listen, we're at the yield cliff right now, which means timing is everything. This war, the Strait of Hormuz, will have to be back to fully operational as of now to prevent a catastrophe, a global food shortage, right? You're talking about 45 million people around the world, probably more than that, right? That's just who will go straight into starvation. But millions and millions, hundreds of millions of people will go without the necessities, will go without the food that they need. Because, listen, around March and April, this is the exact start of the planting season. Are y'all catching my drift? This is the exact start of planting season, right? Farmers in places like the U.S. and Brazil are facing a yield cliff. They either pay 300% more for fertilizer or they skip it. If they skip it, crop yields, especially corn and wheat, right? So we're talking about a 40% or more drop on harvest. A 40% drop on harvest. This is what we're getting at. If the strait stays closed through the end of April, we aren't just looking at a supply chain hiccup. This is deeper than a supply chain hiccup. Like I said, this is deeper. This is way deeper than the oil. Okay, y'all following me, right? If it continues this throughout the end of April, we're looking at a structural failure of global agriculture, right? We've moved from an energy crisis to a fertilizer crisis, right? And by the end of 2026, it becomes a full-blown food availability crisis. Watch the harvest. Not just don't pay attention to the tankers, right? Don't just pay attention to the tankers. We are in unprecedented times. I want y'all to understand, right? And also, what's going to happen is the elite countries, the wealthy countries, right? They're just going to outbid. They're going to outbid countries who don't have any money for the ammonia and the urea that they have left. That's what's going to happen. So you got countries like United States, countries in Europe, right? Countries and wealthy countries in Africa, wealthy countries in Asia, right? They're just going to outbid, right? And that's going to leave the rest of the countries, right, who just don't have the money to put up to bid. They're going to leave them in absolute starvation. And many of you probably think I'm exaggerating. No, it can't be that bad. What do I keep telling you? Right? What world do you... Listen, we're at a point in time where things are getting exposed. Systems are being infiltrated. Right? Systems are being exposed. This is the real world. I want y'all to understand. This is the real world. This is not the fake world. This is not fantasy land. This is the real world. Right? And this is how the real world operates. Right? Catastrophes, food shortages, right? Disruptions in the global supply chains. This is the real world, right? Many of you, especially Americans, you've been living in this bubble and you think that the world is just so safe. You think that, okay, food is just always available because it's always available to you, right? You think that nothing can ever happen. You think that disruptions can never happen, right? You think that violence can't come to your doorsteps. You think that war can't come to your doorsteps. Well, this is the war. I told y'all, the war won't be guns and ammunition to the extent that we've seen in the past world wars. No, we're in economic warfare. We're in AI warfare. We're in system warfare, right? We're in psychological warfare. This is where we're at right now. So listen, everyone is talking about the gas prices, right? Everyone is talking about the gas prices, but nobody is talking about the possibility of food not being available to a good portion of people. And I want y'all to put this into perspective. Jobs are continuously disappearing. Jobs are continuously disappearing. Wages are not growing. People are getting laid off left and right. Nobody can actually tell you the future. Nobody can really tell you what's up next, what's ahead. We can, kind of guesstimate, but nobody can really tell you. So once again, what are you doing to prepare yourself? Right? Should you be stocking up on food? Should you be stocking up on ammunition? Listen, you're going to have to do your research and do what's best for your family. Right? So we're talking about people going into acute hunger. Acute hunger. Right? And of course, this is worst case scenario. But I want y'all to understand something as well. Prices are not going back down. I'm walking in the store now and I'm seeing a ton of price adjustments. I'm seeing price adjustments at my place, where I work. Prices are not going back down. Right? This is the same thing that happened in COVID. I keep telling y'all. They started the engines. Right? The propellers are already whipping. Right? There is no stopping this train. They're going to keep going and going and going. Americans are surviving off of credit. Most people are not even buying groceries in cash. People are buying groceries with credit. This is where we are. People are taking loans out for necessities. People don't have the cash to live. So you probably see somebody pull up in a big Escalade. You probably see somebody pull up in a Beamer or Mercedes. I promise you, do not let that fool you. I promise you, the same people that y'all looking at pull up, right? Oh, I want that car. I guarantee you they're over leveraged. And you're probably in a better spot than they are because they have a whole bunch of debt that they can't even keep up with. They just trying to keep up with the Joneses. We're in a time of chaos. We're in a time of confusion. But with chaos and confusion comes clarity, but only for those who are paying attention. So you got to pay attention now, right? You have to kind of move the dirt to the side, right? You got to kind of move the nonsense to the side, right? And pay close attention to what's going on so you can pivot when you need to pivot, right? So you can take care of yourself and take care of your family, right? Once upon a time, people were talking about on this channel, just grow your own food and this, that, and the third, you got to do this and you got to do that. Well, what happens when you don't have the tools necessary to be able to grow said food? Oh man, this actually can get uglier than the oil itself. See, the United States don't need oil. We don't really need oil. The price increases that we're seeing is due to the global market being interconnected. So if the prices of the barrels are going for 140, right, on this side of the world, right, and people need that oil, well, guess what? The market is going to adjust to what people need, right? It's going to adjust to basically the highest bidder or the highest barrel. It doesn't matter if we have the oil. It does not matter, because we have a ton of oil in Texas, right? We got a ton of oil in Alaska. Hell, we done kidnapped Venezuela, right? We have oil. We got oil in the Gulf, right? We got plenty of oil. However, we still have to abide by the global market prices, which if 140 is set over there, right, on the eastern side, and United States just can't come in, well, we're going to sell it for 100. Nah, that's not happening, because guess what? Capitalism rules at the end of the day. Capitalism rules at the end of the day. So, no, they're not selling it for $100 a barrel. No, they're going to sell it for 140. And that's what it's going to be. So listen, corn and wheat can collapse. Corn is the most nitrogen intensive major crop, right? In the U.S. alone, farmers are projected to abandon up to 6 million acres of corn, right? Global caloric deficit, excuse my reading skills. This shift creates a massive shortfall in the world's foundational feedstocks. A lower corn harvest leads directly to a spike in the price of beef, poultry, and dairy as livestock feed becomes scarce. I want y'all to pay attention, man. Right? And you can do your own research on this, right? This is not a conspiracy. This is what is happening. While they're distracting you from, the oil prices, the gas, I need to drive around, I want to go on vacation. They're about to starve people.
I built a life. I built a family. I worked my hands raw to get here, and I'm not done. This is the escape blueprint, PFP life, a way out of the grind and into control. You'll learn how I stack cash, build systems, and reclaim time so you can live on your own terms. You will watch me maneuver and grind towards the life that I achieve for myself, and you can also do the same. Join the circle, join the Patreon, learn the steps, and protect your freedom. The escape blueprint, PFP life.